What's going on, Ian?
I tried to comb my hair over, but my this arm can't quite reach my head yet, and that's the one I need to like comb my hair. So I'm like trying to
Oh,
you know,
I forgot you had surgery.
it
That's
doesn't.
right.
eh,
Is it
it,
pain?
it's getting
But
there.
don't
We don't have
force
it
it.
all wrapped up still. What?
You're such a meathead. You're like forcing it.
No, they wanted me to force full range of motion as soon as
Oh,
possible.
okay. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
because
okay.
like it's with that, they don't want like the scar tissue to build up in there and restrict the motion. After I just got all that shit cleaned out, so he told me to like get active range of motion as soon as the nerve block wore off. Probably like I don't know, fully by the morning after the surgery, and then I was like moving it as much as I would take my hand, force it up, and then I'd take it on
Yeah.
the table and try and stretch it. And but it's good. I mean, it's still all bandaged up, but
When can you train again?
I might go train some legs today. I'm a little
Not
tentative. It's like,
no, not legs. Like when can you start actually putting
oh,
any pressure on the elbow?
I don't
Three
know. I
weeks,
mean,
three
it's
weeks,
going
4 weeks?
pretty good, pretty quick. Like, I mean, I could probably, eh, no, I probably couldn't do a push up, but I'm getting pretty close, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Good.
know. But they did six. There's six ports they did, like two, 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 or two, two, one, one, two. You know,
To clean it all out. Yeah.
and so the six spots they went in. So, but it's feeling better. I mean, already it's getting as straight, if not maybe a little straighter than it was before. Like this, I couldn't get it that straight before. You know, like that's pretty much as close as the other one.
Wow.
So there's a little bend there, but it's not too bad.
I
So,
didn't
but
realize I didn't realize it was that bad.
yeah, I had only 40-degree extension. So like there, where this would be like
Jesus.
whatever,
Yeah.
zero degrees. So
Yeah,
now he
yeah.
put them at 5. So I got from 40 to like 5, which is pretty normal. I don't think that's even 100% straight. And then I had 85 this way, and now I have 135.
Wow.
So he gained quite a bit both ways. And then my supination, pronation, I got about another 5 degrees each way as well.
Awesome. Good for you.
So yeah, excited to get it off, like healed up, so I can get back to training. But
Okay. Well, listen, we'll keep the podcast stuff for the podcast.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, the Chicago Pro was yesterday,
Yep.
and I think we shit the bed on our picks. I know Paul and Mike aren't here, so we're not going to go through the picks, but we are going to go through the wrap up. So, let's take a look at some photos. You can give me your insight, I'll give you my insight, and we'll go through it. So we'll take a look at not my YouTube channel. We'll take a look at Instagram. And Mo Fuda won last night, which I think some of us called.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so go ahead. I know you thought his tan was light and you thought there was some things missing. So go
Yeah,
ahead and
no,
tell.
I think look, he looked great. I mean, it was definitely an improvement over his last showing. I mean, from the front, like you can see in this shot, his muscularity looked awesome. Conditioning looked pretty solid. Very balanced, very muscular from the front. Good lats, chest thickness, arms, delts, quads. But in prejudging the tan was a little light, as I talked about. He definitely improved it for finals. And then obviously his back is needs to come up to match the front. It's definitely his weakest shots, especially his back lat spread. But overall, I can definitely understand him winning. I think it was a pretty solid call overall for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody in the lineup had something missing,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
and it seemed like Mo kind of put together the best package for the lineup. But I can see here from the back, like you said, the hamstrings and glutes, calves are great. It's just the
Yeah,
back
they're not bad.
itself, like the lats themselves need to come up.
Yeah, just some
Um,
width he's missing and thickness in the lats.
but
But these side shots were all great. A little to be desired in the midsection control and the side shots, but I mean, overall, he looked really, really good.
you kind of have to give it to him, though. Really, the lats are the only place he's missing. Like he's pretty complete
And the
otherwise.
lats in the front shot here are actually great.
Yeah, yeah,
They actually have like a nice kind of pop on the front shots.
yeah.
It's just the thickness on the back shots that because they might be a little bit higher lats. They don't quite give that thickness and pop on the back shots, you know.
So I want to go to this one page. Who's the best bodybuilder? I know they posted some.
Who's the biggest asshole?
Who made that page? Who's the biggest asshole? I wonder if I'm on there.
There it is.
Oh
Oh,
wait, shit! I just passed it. Okay,
there.
there it
Yes.
is. Who is the best bodybuilder? That's it. I know he posted a. I think yeah, that's it. So this was Hani working with Mo, and this is Mo working with Stefan.
Mhm.
Stefan. And I'm not going to sit here and try and create a controversy like, oh, this is the fan versus.
No, they're
We're,
overall they're quite comparable looks. I think he's got a little bit better fullness and pop on the right. You can see
right,
especially through the chest and arms and delts.
right.
Uh, but I mean, the conditioning is not dramatically different. If you're looking at it as a whole, I mean, maybe a little crisper on the right, but I mean, the cross-striations in the quads and, if anything, his midsection looks a little better on the left, but that could just be the tan, the lighting. So, I mean, the conditioning wise, they're pretty comparable. I think he just has a little more fullness or just a little more muscle because it is a year later on the right in Chicago.
I will say this though, and I don't know if anybody cares, but I do think it's a feather in Stefan's cap that
Oh, for sure.
he can match Hani's progress with the
Yeah.
same athlete.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a metric we can use, but I think it's interesting myself.
If Honey ain't the metric, then who is?
No, yeah, I know.
The guy's
uh,
got 25 Olympia wins. I think
yeah,
we kind of use him as the stick, right?
yeah. Vlad was in second.
Yeah, well,
So
fucking Vlad. We always betted on him until we didn't, and then we didn't, and then he surprised all of us.
yeah, well, because he screwed me last year, so I bet against him, and then he fucking showed up the way he was supposed to last year.
Yeah,
Um, my biggest glaring weakness obviously is the legs are a little bit straight
and
up
the
and
and his
down.
posing, like you can see here, even just to get into that front lat, he's having a real hard time.
Yeah, his presentation obviously could use some work, but as far as just muscularity itself,
He was definitely the most muscular in that top group.
yeah.
That's where he got that because I mean his shape is not like beautiful by any means. I mean he's got kind of a longer waist and it's a bigger waist too. But his muscularity was great, conditioning was great. His tan was awesome. Presentation and just overall aesthetics were his weakness.
So let's okay, so I think you kind of answered it there, but let's try and break it down for people watching just because I think the top two is really where the show was mostly.
Yeah,
I thought it was between Mo and Vlad, and I honestly, after prejudging, I wasn't sure which way they're going to go because me and Paul were talking about it, and I said, okay, well, Vlad is missing, not missing. Vlad is lagging a little bit in the legs,
yeah,
but Mo is lagging in the lats.
yeah.
So when you're trying to break down who's got the most weaknesses, you're like, okay, they're both missing a body part, but you just said it there. The overall flow and aesthetic of Mo is kind of, I think, what put him over.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean that's if that's how I would be looking at it. I mean, I didn't see what the scores are. Did you see the scores between them? Was it a perfect score for Mo? I'm not sure.
I
We
didn't
could
see them, no.
we could pull those up, but no, I mean, I think it was, they both had strengths, they both had some weaknesses. I think Mo overall, just from the like you said, the flow and aesthetics, and that translates in every pose for the most part, other than maybe the side shots. Just it all kind of pieced together a little better. His especially his front shots were, some of his front shots, like most muscular and stuff, were really awesome.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, I definitely agree with him, but it was close between the two of them. I for sure agree. There's
So
a
if
group.
we,
There's the top four there in that group.
yeah, so if we go to the top four, well, first, I just want to say before we go to the top four, I thought this was a little strange. I just want to make note of it. And obviously, I'm not a judge. I'm not a pro judge. I don't know what it's like to sit at the table. Um, Actually, you know what? I'm going to go to bodybuilders of the borders because the pictures are sideways on buys and tries. I thought it was a little strange that the first call out, did I pass it already?
Was 8 guys.
Yeah, it was an 8-man first call out, which
It was too big for that size of stage. I do agree with you.
I just don't feel like anybody really gets a good look.
No, because like some of these guys, like look at the guy on the far left. Look at Chang off the left. He's in the
Oh,
basement
up
in the
here.
shadow.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like look at the
I,
light on. There's
I,
zero light there.
yeah, I just don't see a point. Like it should have
No,
been,
like you can do that on the Olympia when you have a fucking 70-foot stage, but I mean, this is in like a hotel ballroom. You can't fit like six. I think six is most you should be packing in there.
I agree. I agree. Especially with this kind of lighting, like you can see like
Yeah.
it kind of stops there. And even here is even better. Like these four.
Yeah, it's
This we'll go to that guy afterwards.
yeah,
Okay,
no, and I felt bad for them too because like Steve was getting mad at them for bumping elbows. He's like, "Fucking stop bumping!" It's like, bro, what do you want us to
they
do? This
can't
is
do nothing. Yeah,
a
yeah.
20-foot stage, and there's 8 of us here.
Okay, let's go back to buys and tries, and we'll take a look at the group, the top four.
Yeah,
Who ended up in third, Tim or Nathan?
Tim.
So Tim ended up in third. So okay, I'll let you take it from there. How did Tim get in third? How come he didn't get ahead of Vlad? How come he was able to beat Nathan? Those are kind of the
Yeah,
questions
I
I
mean, I
think.
think when you look at Tim and Vlad, I mean, there's a lot of similarities in that, their flow isn't amazing, but they have a crazy level of like raw, dense muscularity. The posing is definitely not the strong suit for either of them. So I think it was kind of a toss up between these two. I think in the back shots, Vlad was a little better. You can see Tim just kind of how his shoulders into his lats, like into his waist in his back double flow, is not really great. You see that comment there?
Can I? No, what did it say?
Keeping
Keep
track of the
going down.
RPG consequences. Ian going to win again. Seeing if I lost the.
Actually, can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yeah.
And I noticed something on if you look down here at the back double. Tim is pulling his spine inwards
Yes. Yeah.
and pushing his ass out.
And he's doing the complete opposite,
And
Vlad.
Vlad is doing the complete opposite. And I wish Tim would see this because you can see exactly why Tim isn't doing as well as he should be because some of his poses just don't like
No,
work.
it's
They don't work for him.
yeah.
This
It's
is
not. Go ahead.
sorry, this pushing your spine outwards, this is something Roman started doing.
Yeah.
That made a massive difference for his back. It's something Tim should consider. But anyway, go ahead, Ian.
I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah, no, I think that's Tim is definitely, it's one of those things of like, it's not what you have, it's what you show.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think Tim does have great muscularity. I don't think his back is the strongest point, but you can see there's some good thickness and density to the back.
Hmm.
How it's being presented is definitely not doing him justice. So, I think that's close. I mean, you can see in, the most muscular, the side chest, there's, pretty close on that. Tim's conditioning was great. So I mean, yeah, no, I think that was close between those two. I mean,
I actually,
some small differences, but
I actually think I have Tim in the front shots. His legs are better.
yeah. Well,
His
front double, it's tight. I mean, they're both not great in a front double.
One
Um,
second. So I didn't know there was more shots. Sorry.
See,
This
I mean,
isn't. This
side
isn't.
try,
This isn't pulled all the way out. I don't
yeah,
think.
side try. I'm giving to Vlad all day there.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Um,
side and side chest. I thought he
side
side chest.
chest,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's really just.
abs and thighs is close between the two of them. Back lat, maybe if he was more get the fully open, but he was having trouble opening the lat. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a toss up between those two, in my opinion, but very similar characteristics in terms of the muscularity and lack of weakness of flow.
Do you think people get really frustrated? And I know there's a lot of reasons why this is an issue for some guys, but do you think fans get really frustrated to see somebody like Vlad or Tim who's been around for a while and they still can't really perfect their posing? Like, does it show like a lack of caring, or is it more a lack of like flexibility? They can't open their back properly. Maybe they have too much muscle. Like maybe they need to get more massage done. Like if as a fan, look, as a
Look, I
bodybuilder,
was a bad poser, so maybe you're a better one to comment on this than me. Like, I could get the mandatories done, but I mean, I was by no means like a, artful poser, artistic poser in any way, or a good poser. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of some guys have a trouble feeling or even just connecting with what feels right to get the pose right. I think some guys just aren't interested in really doing a lot of it. They do the bare minimum to send their progress pictures, and they don't really want to do much more than that. Or guys that don't like to see themselves pose, like maybe have an insecurity thing. So I don't know what it is. I mean, it's I'm sure it's different, person to person of what is the reason that their posing is not a strong suit.
but
Some guys,
well,
just like some guys are like, some people are, like Samson, he could probably never pose and still be a good poser, just like has that flow and that connection, the feeling, and, like the kind of people that are like good dancers versus not good dancers. You know what I mean? It comes a little more natural, I think, to certain people.
yeah, but I'm not talking about necessarily artistic or freedom of posing. I'm talking more about Vlad looks almost uncomfortable
Yeah.
posing, like
Yeah.
he's bound up, like he needs to see a therapist or something, like a physiotherapist, because when he's trying to get into his front and back lat spreads, it feels like he's having a really tough time.
Yeah. No, like look at here. You can see he's like really struggling to try and get his lat, and that right lat still doesn't quite get open, or left lat, whatever side that is. Um,
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange to me. And a part of it feels like practice, and part of it feels
yeah.
like but I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah. I'm not,
um,
it's hard to speak for him, to be honest.
okay, so going back to the show, the fourth was Nathan Epler.
Hmm.
I think I had him in fourth or fifth in our predictions.
Yeah, I think I was about the same. Yeah.
Um, I thought he looked great. Again, like I said to you yesterday, I think it's just going to be a size issue until he catches up.
Yeah.
But your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I thought Nathan overall was the most complete in the lineup. Front to back, side to front, back, whatever,
Hmm.
Uh, his muscularity was good. He's just structurally a little bit smaller guy, so he's going to have to put some more muscle on there to just more to take up more space. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Because like it's when you look at him, it's not like he's small like the muscles. It's just like he needs more, yeah, to take up more space.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
his arms could improve a little bit, but his shape was awesome, conditioning was awesome, posing was great, tan was great. I mean, he actually really, really impressed me. I mean, he was, the most overall pleasing and impressive to me.
I thought Nathan was awesome, and I do agree with you that he was the most complete. He had the least amount of weaknesses, except for the main weakness, which was,
Size.
yeah, no, he just needed more muscle overall.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, size. Sorry, I thought you said thighs. No, yeah, I thought if he just had another 10 pounds on him, I know people say that all the time, like it's
Yeah.
nothing.
It's like he just needs to take up more space on stage.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
Because I mean, if you just look at this line here, like you can tell he's the thinnest one of them, and I think that was
But
the only
like
thing
the,
that
the
hurt him.
flow of his physique, the conditioning, the detail. He's got really nice, like popping kind of 3D muscle bellies, like his chest like really hangs off and
Yep,
like hitting the hands on most muscular like that, like not many guys can do and make it look really good like that. He really had no bad poses. Like every pose was a good pose.
yep.
It's just the muscularity where he just got beat a bit. So, I think like you said, another 10 pounds, like whatever that's, it's easier said than done, but I think he's on a good trajectory if he keeps these lines and keeps growing at the way he has been. I think he'll definitely be a tough bodybuilder to beat.
For people watching, just so they know, Nathan is coming from 212, so he's working his way up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
more of these guys,
And I would suspect he was probably in the mid to high 220s here,
yeah.
225 to 229, somewhere in there, 226, 7. So, I mean, he's coming from the 212 and he's making forward progress. And that definitely shows he can stand in this lineup and hang. But to be beating these guys, he needs just a little bit more muscularity.
We had Hassan as a notable. Where did he end up finishing? Do you know?
Out of the top six, I'm going to guess he was 7 or 8.
So I got to give Hassan props for, just keeping on going, but he has to figure out this conditioning issue
Yeah.
because the stomach, like, I mean, the stomach is distended and the conditioning is not great, but it's better than it was in Toronto.
Yeah, he's a little better than
So
Toronto for sure. I mean, it's still not like, he's still a few weeks out here conditioning wise.
I don't
Um,
know. I just don't know what it is. I've heard Hassan eats nothing,
yeah,
but still
maybe
can't.
that's the problem. I don't know.
Yeah,
His like, look, I'm still kind of in the camp of calories in, calories out. At the end of the day, is what matters. But
right, right.
you have a body that's that big, and you need to keep them training and things like that. It gets a little more nuanced. So it's tough to say, man. I really don't know. I mean, I've heard AJ speak about it. And said that it was like some sodium stuff of some kind that is really Hassan's biggest issue, but I don't know 100%.
I just want to go back. I found some pictures of Nathan. I want to show those real quick. Like you said, every pose, like that's obviously his
Chest
signature
thickness is
pose.
check the chest
Yeah,
thickness awesome in his front lat. Like look at that chest. Like
yeah, yeah. But you can
great.
see, like you said, every pose is kind of buttoned up.
Yeah, you need a little more arms, like see a little more triceps and more arms, like on all these poses.
Yeah, yeah. He's
But I
thin.
mean,
He's thinner through the limbs. Like
yeah,
he
but I
needs a
mean,
little.
it flows well. Like I like the look for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I just think for him to stand out, like if he wants to be, in my opinion, if he wants to be where Martin is, for example,
Yeah,
that 10 pounds has to come.
yeah,
But he could be in that same trajectory, I think.
that's a great like these are great shots.
Yeah, yeah. He's very complete. Everything fits in really well. Like
And his
all the
back double here in this shot, it kind of looks like Hunter. I don't know why.
Yeah, I could see that. Back lat, ab and thigh is great. He looks like a cop though, doesn't he, with that mustache?
What?
Nothing. I said he looks like a cop with that mustache.
Yeah.
Um, Okay, let's see. I wanted to make a couple notables, but I don't know if I could find them right now. Why are these sideways? I don't know why these guys did that.
Who are you looking for?
Well, I was just looking for like some of the notables, like Jan and Hassan. We took a look at
Oh yeah.
like Jan was uh looking really good before the show. I saw that like tanning photo. I think it was here. You
Yeah.
know, like this guy is always lights out, like in every picture before the show, and then
Yeah, he's still missing a couple parts, and he's just like a smaller stature guy, so he gets lost in some of the lineups. Conditioning, I think, could have been a little more improved on stage for sure, but I
Mhm.
mean, he had a decent showing for sure. Was it
Yeah.
in this lineup?
The one guy we did want to take a look at that we all had, I think, in first or second was Hutchison.
Yeah, he hit it at fifth. Yeah,
He ended up
so
in fifth, but I can't find
yeah,
any photos of him anywhere.
maybe go to his page and go to the tag. Um, he was definitely low. Like he was center of the second call out in prejudge, so it would have been like ninth. And they obviously, realized they'd overlooked him a little bit, and they rectified that at night, and he got some comparisons against those guys. Yeah, so got the comparisons against Stan and Hassan, and moved his way up. So I think that was the right call. I mean, at fifth,
So,
fifth is
uh,
about where he deserved to be here.
I'm sorry. Can you just say that again? So in the morning they didn't have him anywhere near the top five?
No, because there was an 8-man first call out, like we discussed, and he
Right.
was center of second call out. So looking about ninth.
Really?
Yeah. So and then they redid the call outs, and they did a top four in the finals. And then they did a second group, which was like him, Stan, Hassan, Sarhan, that other guy,
Yeah.
uh, and one other person, I believe. And then he worked his way up to be beating that entire group.
Is Sarhan the guy I really liked?
Yeah. Yeah. He just is missing a lot of back, but I mean, in the front shots, he looked awesome. Yeah.
We'll take a look at him in a minute. So that's pretty great for Hutchison to fucking work his way up like that. Usually most guys like when they don't get that first call out get pretty demoralized.
Yeah, no, he worked his way up from ninth to fifth. I mean, maybe even lower than ninth. So I mean, it's a good fight back up to get a top five spot and get a paycheck.
Yeah, good for him. Um, who is is it Sarhan? Is it Sarh?
I think so. There you go.
Yes. This guy, I only saw a couple shots of him in like, oh, there's nothing here. Okay. I
Tagged
only
is making the tagged.
I only saw a couple shots of him in the
There you go.
in the 8-man
I
call up.
like this look.
Like, look at how great that looks. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, you can see obviously he needs some more legs, but like arms look sick in the front double. Flow
Okay,
is good.
but hold on a minute. If we're looking at this physique, in my opinion, because he is pretty big, like
Yeah,
structure wise.
yeah.
If we're looking at this physique, he doesn't have any less leg than Vlad does.
No, I'll agree with that. It's not dramatically different there now. Where he loses those, you'll see the
Oh,
back.
wait,
The
there's no.
side leg you can see is definitely
Yeah,
weaker than the
yeah,
hamstring.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You start to see it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's why, because I only saw the front shots, and from the front, he's got a great V taper and like,
But you can see here,
yeah,
um,
he's got wide shoulders, which helps him, but he's got to fill it all out.
the hamstrings, adductors.
He's in good shape.
Yeah. And then the back is just a little on the narrow side through the lat thickness there. Yeah.
Look, honestly, I actually think he's got a good physique. All the insertions are in the right spots. Like the separation's good, the condition is
Yeah.
good. He just he just needs more size.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he
No.
just needs more
More size,
size.
especially in the back and the legs. But I mean, it's
Yeah.
good physique for sure. I like his look.
Yeah, I was just really impressed with those couple shots that I saw.
Yeah. When you saw him in
Um,
the lineup especially in a front double, like he stood out for sure.
yeah,
Like
like when you see that, you're like, holy
see it
fuck.
from a distance, like the silhouette of it looks really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to spend too much time on that. So if we go back, couple things before we go. What does Hutchison do now? Because I think we had like, we had good uh expectations for him, and I think he does too.
Yep.
So what does he do now? Does he keep going to Tampa? Where like what is
Yeah, I
next?
mean, you're in shape now. I would just slug out a couple more and work on your peak and, try and get things dialed in just a little drier and a little crisper. And then after that, obviously, he just needs to put a little more muscle on. I think he can improve his posing in a couple shots. I think his front and back double, he has his arms a little low. it loses a bit of the flow and the look in the front and back double. So I would, look into switching a few poses, nailing that peak a little more, and then after that, it's just put on a little more muscle.
So then Nathan Epler, is he when Nathan looks at this show, does he go, okay, well, I need 10 more pounds. I'm going to finish out this year, or am I going to take a break now and get that 10 pounds?
I mean, I think this is his first shot really at the open like this, and he got a, top four in a a relatively decent lineup. So I'm sure he's probably pretty content and motivated by that placing. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did another couple more, get a few paychecks, get a little more experience on there on the open stage, try himself out in a couple different lineups. I would think that would probably not be a bad plan. I mean, if you can strike, how far is Texas is close, right? Uh,
Isn't Tampa next?
Tampa
Or
and Texas. So I mean,
yeah,
there's two shows that are in close proximity
yeah.
that aren't a big deal to travel to, domestically. So I would probably take my shot at those uh, and see how I do, and then hang it up after that and try and pack some good muscle on.
All right, so Mo won. So Mo's going to the Olympia. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a minute. But second and third, we have Vlad and Tim. Now Tim's been, I think this is Tim's third or fourth show of the year.
At least, yeah.
So does he pack it up now, or is he going to also go, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to Tampa and Texas? Like,
I'd probably pack it up if I was him at this point. I mean, he's done quite a few shows. There's no point system anymore. I mean, look, if there was a point system, Tim would have been qualified 10 times over now, but there's not anymore. It's a win and you're in. I don't think, he's been pretty consistent in his look. I don't think his look's going to be improved. And I don't think he's going to be winning any of the upcoming shows. I mean, like you have, guys
who's
like
doing?
Andrew. I don't know who's doing Tampa.
I know
So
John. I think John's doing Tampa, De La Rosa.
De La Rosa. Oh yeah, De
Yeah.
La Rosa. And I don't think he can beat De La Rosa. And then you go into Texas and you have guys like Andrew. So I mean, there's some tough lineups ahead. For someone like Epler, where it's like you're just getting it started, or Jordan. I mean, I don't think
It's different. Yeah.
it's a little different, but
Yeah.
for him, he's been going since at least Toronto, maybe earlier. So I mean, you're talking about 2+ months of holding peak, it's like that. So I'd probably just call it a year and work on improving a few things, right?
But okay. All right, Ian. We'll leave it there, and then we'll see you on Bro Chat, and we'll figure out if you lost finally.
Think I might have, yeah.
Okay, brother. I'll
Yeah,
talk to
we'll
you
see.
soon.
Yeah,
All right,
bye.
man.